Reginald here. Well, good morning, everybody. It's patch 10 today. That means it's Rejects Unite. Unfortunately for Fatshark, the only thing that we're going to be uniting about is how unhappy we all are with their patch. That's a shame because they had a real opportunity here to score some easy wins, and they just couldn't do it. I don't know who's holding the reins over there at Fatshark HQ, but they probably should stop, or they're going to drive this thing right into the ground. Alright, so aside from that kind of spicy intro, what's my hot take on the patch here? Yikes. That's the whole hot take. There's really not much to say, because there really wasn't much in it. Let's go through what's actually there. Well, what's in the patch? Essentially not much. Essentially a bunch of cosmetics and the new free cosmetic store, which is whatever. We'll talk about that in a second. Ultimately, in terms of quality of life stuff, none of the elephants in the room were addressed or even mentioned. The patch also contains a new old monstrosity, the Chaos Spawn that we've all been waiting for, and it contains a new mission. The map that it is on is part of the Throneside tile set, and it is a wonderful map. I mean, really, honestly, the art team outdid themselves here. This thing feels awesome to play on. There are some really incredible vistas. It's a true adaptation of the best of 40K's environments, and you only go through a few sections that are really more like references to sections you've already played. So for the most part, this map feels really fresh. And I just have to hand it to the art and design team. They outdid themselves once again on a fantastic product for the player base to enjoy. So good job on that. The monstrosity I didn't get to try out, so I guess we'll see if I play any more. They did reduce the number of missions to complete to unlock the final map. This down from 1.4 million to 900,000. But now that we see the community event is open, guess what? You have to complete each stage of the community event before you get to the last stage, which is the mission's completion, and they are not cumulative with each other. So, as it stands right now, we have to kill some number of enemies. After we kill all of those enemies, we have to then kill a bunch of monstrosities. After we do that, we can finally begin running missions to unlock the final map. The final map that was added to this game, Ascension Riser, whatever it is, has been grind-gated away from us, just like everything else is grind-gated away from us in Darktide. Unfortunately, grind-gating itself to death seems to be on its agenda, since they're certainly not interested in actually providing the player base what they want. Let me sum this up for you before I spend too much more time on this subject. Currently, Darktide does not care about its PC player community at all, not even a little. Maybe enough to slightly change a variable on the community event, but not enough to apologize for it or even mention that anybody was upset. That's what the PC community has to live with. If you are going to play Darktide from now on, understand that you are not even a priority in the tiniest way. The only thing that Fatshark cares about right now is getting the Xbox release out and getting the content for the Xbox release ready. That is all they are going for. That is their entire business strategy, and they have no interest in even attempting to retain their PC player base or milk their PC player base for money. As far as I can tell, that's the game plan. So, hey, look, it's a really fun game still. I still play it. I think it's awesome, and I'll probably continue to play it. But I'm just letting you know that you don't matter. And really, why should you care at this point? I'm not going to simp for Corpo Man over here, and I certainly would have hoped that they would have, maybe found a business arrangement that could have worked for both of us, but no such luck. So you're going to have to accept what's there, and if you're tired of it, and then you're going to have to leave, because Fatshark's not interested in addressing any of the feedback, not even for the good of their own product. Just to quickly drive that point home, and then I promise to drop it, Patch 9 was also a cosmetics patch, and we haven't had like a real content patch in quite a while, so all we've gotten out of this patch is one map and an overdue monstrosity. The other map will be released at a later date. I want to talk about cosmetics for a little bit, since that's really all there is in this patch, and honestly the patch notes spend a tremendous and kind of absurd amount of time talking about all of the individual cosmetic recolors that they put into the game, only to then get to the bottom, where they have finally ended their fluff, and talk about the tiny number of changes they've made to the actual game. Ultimately, and personally, I have no problem with a game having a cosmetics-based model. I don't mind that they added the paid shop back in. I don't mind that they added free cosmetics to the game. these things are fine, and they'll add a little visual variety to the game. In fact, the screen that I'm playing right now, some guy bought one of them and is running around them, and it's nice to have something a little different to look at. So that's fine. There are people who are really upset about the sort of FOMO design of the rotating shop, and I agree with that, but I'm not like super mad either. I think maybe they should just do a normal shop where you can go buy your cosmetics. Personally, I would like to buy lots of different cosmetics, but not for a game that doesn't value my time and may not be around for the next 6 months. So I guess we'll see. To me, the big problem with cosmetics is when the video game company forgets that they are a video game company and thinks that they can do nothing but harpoon whales. And I'm going to get into this in real fine detail when I go to talk about my review, which I am actively working on. But, ultimately, in short, a business needs more than just whales to succeed. You need the other players there too, because they create texture and entertainment for the players who are going to whale for your game. So if you have built a game that targets too precisely just the whale player base and filters everybody else out because it's grind gated to hell like it is right now and isn't fun for those players and isn't getting the content for those players will leave. And then you'll be left with like 5 guys running around in their stellar cosmetics, and those guys are going to be like, well, I have no one to show off to, so I guess I'll leave too. And ultimately, Fatshark seems to be really taking that approach. I don't care that there's cosmetics in the game. I care that Fatshark refuses to address the things that are driving everyone else away. And personally, this is the funniest thing. I would have whaled for this game. I mean, I'm like a 40K fan since forever, and I will absolutely dump like a couple thousand dollars into this product if it's got the goods. If there are cosmetics that are interesting and reference the material well, I will buy them. But I haven't bought anything. I literally haven't bought any cosmetics for this game. I'm like sitting here saying I would buy hundreds, even thousands of dollars of cosmetics for this stupid game, because as long as I could prove that it was going to stick around for longer than 6 months. But I can't, because they refuse to address the things that are driving me and everyone I know away. So okay, if you won't do that, then I'm not going to pay for your game, and then the game's going to go under. And that's a real bummer, because this is one of the greatest horde shooters ever made. I mean, I really mean that. I feel that way about this. This is so fun. But they hate their own product and their own player base so much. I don't understand. All right, well, I will probably call it there, since I've spent more than enough hot air on a subject for which there was very little meat on the bone. After all, they didn't put much out with this patch, so why should I add much? I know there were some bugs in this patch. For example, I have some visual bugs when I'm in the lobby. I don't usually care that much about some small minor bugs. They'll get fixed, it's whatever. I do care about the fact that they didn't put the shirtless cosmetic back in, and one of the rewards is a tattoo. Fatshark never fails to disappoint. Honestly, this company is just so lame. Just a reminder, if anyone at Fatshark is listening, we're actually your customers, not your community, not your friends, but your customers. And you're supposed to try and get money out of us, and you're doing a terrible job of it. So, I don't know, try something else. I am working on a review for this game. It's halfway done, since I realized I could probably get most of the most difficult parts out of the way, and then I just needed to kind of discuss product stuff, which is what I'm familiar with. And the patch notes are not going to change anything, actually, so this is going to be really easy for me. Stick around for that, I guess, in a couple of days. It might take me a week or two. It's honestly, the editing process is fairly lengthy despite everything else, but I'm going to work on it, and I'll try to get it out as quick as I can. With that, I will say thanks for visiting. I appreciate you hanging out for a little while, and have a wonderful week. If you do catch me in game, it's not like I'm going to stop playing, but I don't know how much I'm going to play, since there's only one map new, and the mission intensity problem, the difficulty select problem, is still there and hasn't been addressed. So, after I play the new mission like 1 or 2 times, I'm going to want to play it on a mode that's actually fun, and it won't be clear when I'll be able to do that, so that'll be a huge problem. I guess that's it. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.